minutes after 7 o'clock, this and every Thursday, Mental Health Matters with us, Johanse IODK, Behavioral Change Specialist. And Johanse, let me, of course, firstly say good morning. Great to see you again. Welcome. And I want to ask the question, today's topic, a very interesting one. Is Christmas jolly for everyone? Good morning, Johanse.
Morning, Jason, and morning to all the viewers. Christmas time means different things to different people. And depending on the circumstances that occur each year will decide how someone experiences Christmas. So for the most part, Christmas is supposed to be a time where everyone is jolly, but based on certain circumstances, it may not be that way. And I'm highlighting this because if you are someone who's experiencing Christmas in a jolly way, doesn't mean everyone else is having that same experience. So one, to be empathetic to the other person or persons, and two, even for yourself, if Christmas is normally jolly, but this year's circumstances may be a little different, so also be empathetic and loving to yourself.
So for those having a hard time and not really feeling the joy and the quote-unquote jolly of the season, how do you negotiate the space? Because it's everywhere, it's in your face, it's on the radio, the parang, the Christmas music. You go to the mall, you go to the supermarket, promotions going on, Santa Claus, ho, 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 Christmas lights up. You know, it's a whole pageantry that takes place for the season. Now, it's a religious holiday, but indeed, it's gone now into a place of serious pageantry and commercialism, and it's literally everywhere. Christmas movie, right? Again, lights, reindeer, things happening all over. How does one negotiate within the space when all that is happening?
And that can be difficult navigating that space, but one, I would say, be grateful for whatever you already have. Even though you've seen all the pageantry and all the sales and all the gifts and things, and you may think about all the things that you don't have, many of us have life, many of us have sometimes family, friends, somebody that care about us, somebody to care about. So look at the base thing that we have first before we start to think about all the pageantry. So that's one way to navigate this space. And then also, don't put yourself in any debt. Don't make next year worse than, let's say, if you're not enjoying December, don't make next year a bad year in terms of starting off bad, because many people overspend, overindulge for the Christmas season and then put themselves in a deficit for the new year. And therefore, that's why we have the longest month of January. Yeah. So if you know that this occurs, and believe me, since I've been alive in this world, in Trinidad, everybody's been born for January. So if you know this is a regular occurrence, from now you can even start putting things in place so it doesn't become that, or even hold back, subsidize, instead of overindulging, so that you could enjoy your new year after the Christmas season.
Well, you answer, I would imagine that calls for a break in tradition, because there are many who would recall their formative years growing up with mom, dad, granny, uncle, whatever, and having that understanding that for Christmas, you splash a new coat of paint, you draw for new curtains, you know, you bring all the ham, the pastel. How does one know when you become an adult and you are now managing your own finances? I guess that takes a serious decision to probably, in case or in the instance that the finances are not fully optimum and the math's not maths in this particular year, you'll have no choice but to probably break tradition.
I agree, and nothing is wrong with breaking tradition, because in the tradition, you have bringing stress for the next year, or have you in debt, because many people take Christmas loans, have you in debt until the other Christmas, then it's okay to break tradition. It's okay if quote-unquote Christmas is not as jolly, because you're using the resources that you have. And I'm not saying to be a Scrooge or be a miser. Nothing wrong with doing something nice for yourself, for your family, what does you care about, but don't put yourself at a deficit and bring stress to yourself.
Let me ask you, what advice you tell to those who would have lost a loved one? I know you would have lost your grandmom recently, and again, you know, deepest condolences in that regard. But for those who are accustomed for Christmas morning, a particular person would be there downstairs, you'll break up bread with them for Christmas lunch, that particular person would always be there. And this year now, when we sit down to break that bread, we sit down to knock that glass of sorrel, physically that person is not there anymore, they have passed on. What advice you tell to those who are going through loss in this festive time?
I would say to do something that honors the person. So you can even add, even if it's a small tradition, if, as you were saying, if every person that you lost likes sorrel, you can have a glass of sorrel to that person. If they like ginger beer, whatever it is, do something to honor that specific person. So even though they are not there with you physically, you could do something to honor them. Secondly, be gentle with yourself in terms of your own grieving process, because sometimes it may be better, and you would know, it may be better to be around many people, around family, or sometimes, you know, you may actually need some time to yourself or a little of both. So in the morning, you get up, you have some time to yourself, and then when you feel up to it, then you go on and you congregate with family or friends.
What do you say to those, and what advice would you give to those looking on who, let's say, in a relationship scenario, especially if it's a new one, and someone within a relationship would have gone the extra mile, gone the distance, really put forward a big spend on a particular gift item, and of course now they're now receiving a gift from this person that they're with, and it's more or less within the realm of ridiculousness. It's very cheap, it's not, no thought was given. The gift exchange, the matsin with the gift exchange. You went all out, you spent the money, you gave thought to your particular offering, and now what you receive look like it was just a random run-in Christmas Eve in a tuck shop, and you just put something in a box and say, hold that. Because that in itself could bring a bit of frustration, and you could lose your jolly within the season. Because a lot of giving is involved with the season too, that gift exchange and giving. Talk to me about that side of it.
I would start with one, stay within the realms of respect for each other. So if you receive a gift, as you were saying, that you feel it's cheap or the person didn't put thought in it, maintain respect first. Also, this could be a wonderful opportunity for proper communication between two, because finding out exactly why this person chose to give you this, whether it is the expensive gift or even the quote-unquote cheap gift. This is a good time for you to better understand each other. Also, to be able to communicate, to say exactly the things that you want, that you need. Conflict in itself is a wonderful opportunity for two people to have open communication. But one of the keys is to keep respect, and with that respect, you might be able to keep your jolly for the most part.
Okay. What do you say to those, because I'm trying to go through all the scenarios that happen in the Christmas where it's really supposed to be a beautiful moment, a moment of celebration, but sometimes people are left feeling disappointed or dejected or feeling used. You know, paranging house to house is a Trinidad and Tobago tradition. And there are those who sometimes will pass through someone's home, and when they're gone, it's like a Category 5 hurricane just touched down. All drinks, food, mash up, and they're going for premium. What do we say to someone who goes through that experience, who might be a bit frustrated or a bit apprehensive to open the door now to welcome guests? People calling outside, but they don't answer. You know, they're afraid to really present that particular offering this time around because of hurt.
Mm-hmm. You could face it with instead of fear, go with planning. If one, you know, there are certain people who just come through and take more than necessary, or as you say, like a hurricane, then pace yourself. You don't have to avoid. If you have 10 bottle of rum, 10 bottle of sorrel, you put out 2 in the season, you put out 2 and you pace yourself with it, because sometimes we think people would understand what is necessary. They might know what is common sense. They may have the same kind of courtesy and decorum as you, but the truth is they don't. So you can mitigate for it by knowing, one, who to invite, because you don't have to invite everybody to your home. And two, if you're inviting those people that may have a reputation, then you pace yourself with exactly how you're distributing those goodies, those refreshments, etc.
But your answer isn't putting out the 10 bottles part of the whole experience to show your prowess, to show that I'm ending the year with this abundance. So there are 10 bottles of sorrel here, 10 bottle of nuts. You know, all the prunes you could eat. Pastel hototo. But there's, I guess, a part of you also thinking, well, it's out, but we don't anticipate everybody will sweep it up. But in the case where you put it out and it is swept up, and someone is left now having to recalibrate, because, I mean, literally people pass through and parang the house. You know, because I understand what you're saying, yeah, but you understand that there are people who literally put things out. They put it out in an abundance to show this is, this is a good Christmas. Look at here.
Right. I would say, one, maybe it could be an opportunity to change tradition too, because nothing wrong with showing your abundance, but sometimes in that same essence, putting out everything to be taken in one go may not be a good sign for your own sense of abundance. Because if I have $1 million, just for example, putting it out and spending it out in one may not be prudent. So showing that you can also pace yourself, and this is for you, because you don't want to put yourself in a deficit. The key is protecting yourself for the Christmas season. So one day you want to show abundance, but the rest of the season you will receive stress. Don't make sense. And if you need to change that tradition, then do what is necessary for your own mental health.
What do we say to the parent who is under some financial straits this Christmas and really cannot bring that joy to their child, or probably children? They really can't afford to give them that gift the child has been suggesting. The child is a good child, you know. Child doing well in school, the end of term coming, the marks nice, a nice child, but water really more than flour, and I really can't afford to give the young one that gift now. What will you say to the parent this morning going through that particular dilemma?
One, my heart goes out to any parent who has a good child and really want to provide. I wouldn't even say the needs now, because sometimes for Christmas, you want to give them the wants, and you may not be able to do so. I would say be honest. Be honest with the child. Be honest with the child from early. So the child or children's expectations may not, be high and looking forward for something, and then last minute or on Christmas Day itself, they are disappointed. So if you let them know the truth from early, they can prepare themselves and maybe even ask for something else. It may not be their first choice, but they can ask for something else that they may be able to afford. And let's just say, if between now and Christmas you're actually able to afford it, then it will be an extra surprise. So if you tell them right now, mommy, daddy don't have the money to buy this PlayStation 5 for you, right? But what is your second and third choice? But next thing you actually could afford it, then the child will be extra surprised because you were honest and upfront with them.
Mm-hmm. Cleaning is a very contentious and ticklish moment, especially in the households where parents want to get their teenagers, or even the young ones too, to get involved, and they're lazy. Well, I would say lazy, but they just lahing. They're on their phone and chop, let's go, and it's a back and forth. And sometimes there are many too who might throw the responsibility on a child, and the parents will lift a finger. The child have to scrub, grout, and put up curtain and climb, and the child working his child like a horse. What do you say to that family to just have that situation balanced and not find any off emotions and animosity within just a process that is a tradition within the Christmas, the cleaning process?
Jason, you're right. Family dynamics in general, even without the cleaning, could be ticklish. But the same thing I would say, be upfront with exactly what you could handle, what you can't handle, and start the cleaning process as early as possible, because coming down to the crunch time, when everybody feels rushed, extra emotions will be high. So actually all now is a good time to start your cleaning, you know, right? My wife and I, we already started cleaning, but say we don't want to be in the rush this year. So even delegate. So this person doing this person doing this by December the 10th, the 15th, etc. Let us finish it. So at least the person or persons know exactly what will occur. Even if they may not want to do it, even if they may think that they're doing too much work, at least it could be done in a timely manner. So when the emotions rise up Christmas, it wouldn't be added to the pressure of cleaning.
Yeah, because, I mean, in my household, I remember growing up, and it was a fun process because everybody got involved, my mom, my sister, myself. But our cleaning used to start, Johan, say, Christmas Eve, you know. We're talking here, you know, 12, midnight, 1 in the morning. We're going straight till Christmas morning. Mommy put in the bread. That was tradition. Bread and the ham, bacon, Christmas morning, and we're now wrapping up, the cleaning up on Christmas morning. It used to be crazy. But anyway, that's just sometimes how it is, you know. Everybody's family dynamic is different. Before we wrap things up, I just want to pivot really quick. Today being December 1st, it's World AIDS Day. Any message as we consider the impact of AIDS on the world over the years, and the fact that I would have said earlier, breakthroughs would have happened in medicine, so people now are able to live longer, more comfortable, who would have gone through that diagnosis. Any message to the nation and by extension, the world on this World AIDS Day, December 1st?
I'm saying that knowledge is power. So education is key. Understanding exactly what is AIDS, and the more you understand something, the better you could mitigate against it, whether it is for your own health or even treating with those that may have AIDS, or even young children or people that could be exposed to it. So I would say education, because sometimes people think they know what something is and people celebrate things and have awareness for it. But really sit and understand what it is and why the day is necessary, and then you can be able to move forward in a more informed manner.
Yeah, as always, knowledge, very important. Final words, Johan, say any closing remarks as we wrap things up on this Thursday, Mental Health Matters?
Christmas means different things to different people. So don't force yourself to be jolly if you're not in the season, but also enjoy it as much as possible. Be grateful. Don't make life complicated, because even though life is not easy, it's really not that hard. Thank you for listening.
Johan IODK touching base with us yet again on this Mental Health Matters Thursday. All the best. We'll link up again next week.
Thank you.
Important discussions this and every Thursday. Up next, Business Guardian Breakdown. Breaking the bank. The impact of the floods on business, on the economy. Definitely an important, very important discussion up next. Stand by.